Grab your popcorn because I have zero idea how long this is going to take. But the one thing that I know for sure is that we're not stopping until we cover every team's NFL draft. As you can see, I have it pulled up right here somewhere, But NFL draft season has officially ended. I don't know if it really ever ends, but we are now moved on to bigger and better things, and that includes scouting for 2026. But before we get to 2026, we got to talk about 2025. And the one thing about 2025 that was really fun is that there was a lot of starting level players. Not a lot of superstars, but a lot of starters. As you can see, we're going to go through each team now. We expect this video to push 30 minutes. You can skip to your team, of course, if you even care what I have to say about it, but let's get right into it. The Arizona Cardinals are up first. We're going to be going in alphabetical order, and the Cardinals, I think they did a great job. The Cardinals overall would get a B from me. I think they picked a lot of players with a ton of upside. Walter Nolan and Will Johnson, two players with question marks that don't really relate to the tape that you see. Will Johnson, of course, with his injury. Walter Nolan with apparently some character concerns and some commitment concerns to actually just liking the game of football, but really good talent down the board as well. Love Cody Simon out of Ohio State, just a juiced up linebacker. Jordan Birch has great size that you could really get freaky with off the edge. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities here. Denzel Burke is a fine corner. I think they did a fine job, very down the middle. I'd say a B, C kind of range, C or B. Maybe we'll just go C plus for the Cardinals. Not a bad draft at all. The Atlanta Falcons are next up, and as you can see, they had a very short draft, but a very good draft. Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. in the first round, phenomenal picks. Loved these picks from Atlanta, and I feel like this really just revamps their entire edge room. It just gets them pressure now off the edge, gets them a ton of more production. Jalen Walker should be a stud, really quick captain as well. Xavier Watts, really good value for pick number 96. I want to say they got him out, so I'm very impressed with that. And then Billy Bowman, they got around pick 118. Very impressed with Billy Bowman on tape, but there is just one thing that he's good at, and that's just being shot out of a cannon, going downhill and making a play. That's really what you're getting out of Billy Bowman, just a juiced up guy. I think he's going to be a great special teamer. And Jack Nelson, not really much to say. Good offensive line depth, if he even makes the team. The Baltimore Ravens had a long draft. A lot of good players in here. And I can say that Malachi Starks and Mike Green are very, very good. Of course, Mike Green has some off-the-field issues. And if you're curious in that, you can go look that up yourself. Let's just say him and a few females didn't get along. Emory Jones Jr. felt really early. Teddy Buchanan's a nice athlete. Bilal Cones, same thing, really good athlete. LaJohntay Wester, big sleeper, great pickup in the 6th round. Anus Peebles, pure pass rusher up the middle. Robert Longerbeam, decent corner out of Rutgers. And I look at this draft and I just think, okay, the Raiders did a fine job. They're about in the same group as the Cardinals, where they get a C+. They did okay. They didn't do anything crazy good, nothing that was crazy impressive, but you know what? They did their thing. And they got better all around. And hopefully this can help them push towards the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson winning a Super Bowl would be sick. Buffalo, I'm going to go ahead and give the Bills a very strong grade here, and I'm going to get into why. Hairston, great athletic corner, really popped on tape. I'm happy he was a first-round pick. TJ Sanders, fell early for TJ Sanders, but a good defensive interior, just kind of disruptor. And once Tyleik Williams went off the board at 28 to the Lions, I want to say it was, you knew that TJ Sanders was going to go a bit earlier. Landon Jackson has all the measurables to be an insane edge rusher in the league. Same with Deion Walker, a freak athlete on tape, but not really when he's getting tested. Jordan Hancock's a strong corner. Like Dorian Strong at Virginia Tech. Chase Luntz, a fun tackle at UConn. Really, really solid job for the Bills. I'm going to give them a very solid B here, B+. I think they improved heavily. I would have liked to see a better wide receiver, though, especially, maybe a round 3, round 4 guy, but really, really happy with how this turned out. The Carolina Panthers are now up. Panthers did a great job. I can't even lie. They got one of my biggest sleepers in the draft in Lathan Ransom down in the 4th round at pick 20. Tetairoa McMillan felt early. I wasn't the highest on Tet McMillan. I'm just going to be honest about that. Nick Scorton, good 3-4 edge rusher. Undersized a little bit. Really good at Purdue. Slowed down at Texas A&M, but still looked decent there. Princely Umanmielen, if you can get behind a guy who just kind of is very good, but is also a crash out, then you're going to like Princely Umanmielen. Has tried to fight fans on multiple occasions. Not a good locker room guy, but he can play. And that's why he went this late, is because he can play. Trevor Etienne looks fine on tape. Looks okay. I don't expect big things. Should be RB2 maybe RB3. I don't quite know, but Jonathan Brooks doesn't look like the answer at running back, especially because he's just injury prone. Lathan Ransom, really good. I expect him to be an all-pro special teamer, but really I do think he could find a role as a starting strong safety. Strong downhill player, makes physical tackles, great instincts. I loved what I saw from Lathan Ransom, good ball skills. And down the board there, Jimmy Horn, nice little pickup from Colorado, the wide receiver. The Bears, in my opinion, had one of the more fun drafts in the NFL. Colston Loveland, Luther Burden immediately just revamped their offense. I mean, Ben Johnson knows what he's cooking and he knows what he wants to build, and he just built it in 2 picks. It was beautiful to see Ozzy Trapillo go off the board in the second round. Mammoth of a human, like 6'8" or something like that. He was crazy big. Shamar Turner maybe could be something really early on. Ruben Hippolyte, the second, or Hypolite, I don't know how you say his name, but really early, but a really good recruit like 4 or 5 years ago, so decent. Made a whole scouting report on Zoff Frazier on Twitter. Very good athlete, very good all around, just old. He's 25 or about to be 25 here very soon. And then Kyle Monangai down the board, really a sleeper running back. I mean, this is a guy that can be a bell cow, can have those carries. He's just undersized, but he's a powerful, strong runner. Great contact balance, good vision. Love Kyle Monangai a lot. The Cincinnati Bengals, I think, did a very good job at addressing their needs and getting great athletes. Shamar Stewart is the best athlete in this draft, other than Nick Ebenwari probably. Demetrius Knight, very good instincts, very good player, decent athlete, good team leader, but he's 25. He's old. I think he's married and has like 2 kids. Like he's a real like older guy. Barrett Carter out of Clemson, another phenomenal athlete. Very good, just downhill, fill the lane, QB spy guy. Should be very good. And Taj Brooks, great pass protection. A lot of missed tackles. I want to say top 5 since he was a starter in the entire country. Very good value pick there. Him and Chase Brown could split a mean backfield for Cincinnati. Overall, this gets a B. And I'm going to give the Chicago Bears an A, by the way. But the Cincinnati Bengals get a B. The Cleveland Browns did the very first big move of the draft when they traded out of pick 2 and passed on Travis Hunter to take Mason Graham at 5. Love Mason Graham, like Travis Hunter. More, I'm not gonna lie, but Mason Graham, phenomenal. Whenever I watched him, like I said in my first round review, saw him always in the backfield. The whole time he was just in the backfield. Carson Schwessinger, wanted him in Oakland so bad. I mean, Las Vegas so badly, but he went the first pick of the second round, and he deserved to. He's a great player, just huge motor, just high IQ. Love Carson Schwessinger. Quinshon Judkins, shocked he went before Travion Henderson, but he's more your bell cow, power, handle the carries, and I expect him and Dylan Sampson to kind of split this backfield. Harold Fannon's fun. I don't know how well the blocking is going to translate. I don't know how well he's going to translate. A lot of route running questions. I just don't know. I need to see something from Harold Fannon to get excited about this pick. And then, of course, Dylan Gabriel went before Shedeur Sanders. I made a video on Shedeur Sanders on my other YouTube channel, but Shedeur Sanders did end up going to the Cleveland Browns as well. And the fun thing about Shedeur Sanders is that he's going to be in contention to start for this Cleveland Browns team. He really is. He should be their week 1 starting quarterback, in my opinion. Shedeur Sanders is going to be good. He's already played behind a weak offensive line. And speaking of offensive line, the fact that you didn't go after a single offensive lineman in this draft. I mean, look, you see anything but an offensive lineman. But you can't do that. You need offensive line, Cleveland. What are we doing? This is an awful haul. And for that, they get a C-. The saving grace are the top 2 and then Shedeur down here. Really interested to see how the rest of these guys work out. But Shedeur really gave them a higher grade than a D. I'm not impressed with this Cleveland Browns draft. Mason Graham's really good. Schwessinger's really good. I think 2 through 4, they just completely whiffed on a few picks. And then Shedeur's fine. C- just because they didn't address the right position. Dallas. Listen, the entirety of the NFC North aced this draft. Dallas, for me, gets an A. I'm so excited to watch Dallas this year. I have a friend who's a Cowboys fan. I'm trying to get him hyped up about this class. Tyler Booker, phenomenal guard. Was it a little bit early? Sure, but he's a phenomenal player. Should be a phenomenal player. He's looked great in all his press conferences. And it seems that the more he talks, the more he just kind of builds up hype and builds up a persona around him that, hey, he's going to be good. Donovan Izaraku in the second is a phenomenal edge rusher. Great production, great size, really good. A little bit undersized weight-wise, but I like his arm length compared to everything else. Savone Revel would have been a top 20 pick if not for his injury. He tore his ACL at the beginning of the year. Teams don't know how well that's going to affect him. I expect him to be perfectly fine. This is going to be the biggest draft steal, arguably, in the entirety of this draft. Jaden Blue, great receiving back. Great just speed out of the backfield. I do think that maybe they needed someone else, more of a bell cow guy, but Jaden Blue can for sure be that receiving back for the Dallas Cowboys to maybe split time with Javonte Williams. Maybe that's what they're thinking. They can get Javonte and Jaden Blue just kind of changing roles. Like a Johnny Cornelius out of Oregon in the 6th round, expect him to maybe translate into guard a little bit better. And then Phil Moffett out of Clemson is fun. Other than that, A overall. I think the Cowboys did a great job. They addressed a lot of needs. Would have liked to see a receiver in there somewhere, but I'm not too worried about it to the point where I'm going to knock them down. Now, UDFAs are slowly getting signed now, and the Denver Broncos just signed Tez Johnson. Bo Nix is a adopted brother, but that's a fun storyline. But yeah, he just got signed by the Broncos, but that's not going to count. I'm kind of really just ranking only the draft. So Broncos, they get a very, very solid B+. Jahdae Barron was the pick of the first round for me. Great value, going to fit in this Denver defense. No one's going to score on Denver next year. I mean, they're going to be the #1 defense by far, in my opinion. RJ Harvey, home run speed, kind of Walmart TreVeyon Henderson, in my opinion. I think they wanted TreVeyon Henderson, but of course he went before them. And now they get another speed threat who can catch the football, who has great vision, but a little bit undersized. Pat Bryant, draft crush right there. I think that Pat Bryant is going to be a phenomenal player. Reminded me a lot of Josh Reynolds. Reminded me a lot of Demarcus Robinson when I watched him. I almost said Josh Reynolds. I don't know why. Pat Bryant, I think, is a very, very good comp with Demarcus Robinson. Good jump ball guy. I feel like he still has a lot of untapped potential, especially in the ability to use his frame. Q Robinson out of Alabama, juiced up guy off the edge. Savion Jones was interesting. I would have preferred Braden Swinson there, but Jeremy Crawshaw is a good punter as well. They did a fine job. Caleb Lohner, I want to say this guy is like 6'8". He's an interesting pick out of Utah. A lot of good players here. I'm gonna give them, a B+. Very, very solid draft for Denver. Detroit was a lot of just questionable picks in my opinion, especially early on. You get Tyleik Williams in round 1. Don't see the need there. You have Aleem McNeil. You have DJ Reader. What's Tyleik Williams going to do? I don't know. Tate Ratledge, fun offensive guard, good athlete. Isaac TeSlaa, same thing. Good athlete, very fast. Miles Frazier, good value down the board there at pick 35 of the 5th round. And then besides that, I mean, Ahmad Hassanian, I don't know how you say his name, but he was a killer at Boise State. It should be very good. And then Dominic Lovett's a fine receiver from Georgia. Overall, Detroit gets a C for me. I just don't see any of these guys making a major impact besides Tate Ratledge and Miles Frazier year 1. Just don't see it. Green Bay shocked the world when they went with a wide receiver, and they actually picked 2 within their first 3 picks. So shout out Green Bay. But overall, I'm going to give them a B-. A few guys in here that I really like. I like Colin Oliver. Got injured though. I really like Savion Williams, top 40 player for me in the draft. I know he drops the football, but he's a fun player at 6'5". Him and Jaden Reed are basically the same thing, but Savion Williams is 7 inches taller or whatever he is. Matthew Golden, very, very solid. I don't know how much I trust him though. Anthony Belton felt really early. Baron Sorrell had the moment of the draft when he got to walk out after being a 4th round pick in front of the fans. You know what? I'm going to change this. This is really like a C- for me. I just don't think Green Bay did that good of a job. I don't think anyone lower than Colin Oliver is going to make a difference year 1. I think they're going to struggle to make the team. I don't know. I don't like this Packers draft. I think it was okay, but they were great hosts. Don't get me wrong. Phenomenal hosts. Houston had a crush on Iowa State receivers. As you can see, they picked up both of them. Jalen Noel and Jaden Higgins should be a fun duo. I think Nico Collins, Jaden Higgins, and Jalen Noel is going to be your starting receiving core, and I love it. Tank Dell just basically cannot stay healthy, so you got to move on. Ariante Ursary, a lot of pad level concerns with him, but he's a good, strong tackle. He should play left tackle, maybe right tackle. I don't know. It depends on who they're going to play there, Cam Robinson or him. Jalen Smith and Woody Marks, 2 USC players that I really, really liked. Woody Marks was a lot higher on my board than a lot of people. Jalen Reed's just kind of juiced up. Luke Lackey's an Iowa tight end. You never know you're going to get with them. Sometimes they just turn out to be really, really good. Overall, Houston gets a C+ for me. I think they picked great wide receivers. I think they picked a fun offensive tackle. I think they got basically from round 4 to round 2, they did a great job. But from round 6 down, I just don't really like the value sometimes there. Luke Lackey was fun. I'm going to give him a B-. Not a bad draft from Houston. Not a great draft from Houston, but a decent draft. Indiana is a really, really fun one here. Riley Leonard, you never know. I mean, your hometown, staying home at Notre Dame in Indiana. DJ Giddens is a great pick down the board. Justin Walleye was a phenomenal pick. JT Tuimoloau, wow, just powerful, good player off the edge. You just love that in round 2 at pick 45 or whatever it was. And then Tyler Warren in the first fell right into their laps and you had to pick it. I'm going to give them a C+, decent draft. I really like Giddens, Walleye, Warren, and Tuimoloau, but other than that, Jalen Travis has rusted hips. They just don't work. Tim Smith, I don't know much about. And Hunter Wohler, I don't know much about. I haven't watched everybody in this class, but I have watched the majority. I just don't feel like, they did enough to really engage my interest, as Shiloh Sanders just signed with the Buccaneers. That's fun. The Jacksonville Jaguars had the moment of the night one when they traded up and got Travis Hunter. But other than that, I'm very impressed with some of the stuff that they did here. Travis Hunter, phenomenal. Number 2 player in the draft for me. I love him. Caleb Ransaw, good athlete. Maybe plays safety. I don't know what they're going to do with him. Maybe corner, maybe safety. Depends on what they do with Travis Hunter. They have him listed at cornerback here. So if he's going to be a primary corner, I do like it. Wyatt Milam, great guard, not a good athlete. Good technique, good form, good everything, but he's just not a good athlete. Bayshaw Tutton, fast, electric, fun to be around, fun guy, just fumble problems. I expect him and Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne to kind of just split this 3 ways. Jack Kaiser, great leader, great just IQ, beautiful pick from Notre Dame. Jonah Monheim is fun at center. LaQuint Allen's fun out of Syracuse. I'm going to give the Jags a C, just down the middle. Travis Hunter's really good, but other than that, not really impressed with anything else. Tutton's fun. Ransaw's fun. Milam is not a good athlete. I think besides Travis Hunter, you really don't have a lot here. They get a C. The Kansas City Chiefs now, and Josh Simmons was their first round pick. Very good. If he's not injured, he's the best tackle in this draft. I don't think that's a question. Omar Norman Lott, great rotational defensive tackle who can really get after the quarterback. He's going to be fun. Ashton Jalott, another guy who can just get after the quarterback. He's fun. Patrick Mahomes ended up on his back so often in the Super Bowl that the Chiefs just realized, hey, maybe we need to start putting other teams' quarterbacks on their back. And that's what they're going to do. Noel Williams, my biggest sleeper of the draft, besides Jalen Royals, who they also got. I mean, the Chiefs killed this draft for me. They're getting an A+ because I really think that Noel Williams is a great player. I think he's a great ball hawk, and I think he's going to be a great player in the system. But then you had Jalen Royals, who is my wide receiver too. He's a phenomenal player. I love Jalen Royals. And in this Chiefs system, he's scary. Jeffrey Bassa, a freak athlete, undersized linebacker out of Oregon. Love it. Brashard Smith can really catch the ball in the backfield, is an exciting player. The Chiefs killed this draft, man. They did a phenomenal job. I loved it. And I think that they're going to get an A+, the first one of the video. The LA Chargers had a very interesting draft. I think they got some great value in certain places, especially I see 3 picks here. Rondé Gadsden's a fun pick because you don't know if he's a tight end or a wide receiver. I think he's just a big wide receiver at the end of the day. One of my favorite picks was SEC Defensive Player of the Year, Kyle Kennard, getting selected in round 4. Good production, good size. Really don't know why I didn't go earlier. I had a day 2 grade on him. Kyle Kennard's going to be sick in this Chargers defense. Trey Harris, big body receiver from Ole Miss. Fun to use, especially if he's going to be a willing blocker. He's going to be really fun. And then Amarian Hampton, bell cow, 18 carries a game. Get him going downhill. Got some wiggle on him too. I love this pick. Chargers get a solid B. Really like what they did early on with the first 2 picks, like Kyle Kennard, like Rondé Gadsden. RJ Mickens out of Clemson is another guy who I can maybe get behind. Trikwezi Bridges, though, don't really like. Branson Taylor, don't really like. Just a B, maybe a B-, but definitely, B-. I'm going to go B-. The LA Rams. The LA Rams, for me, get a D. I'm not going to lie, they get a D. Josiah Stewart is a one-trick pony that's undersized. Terrence Ferguson felt really early for T-Ferg, but he had a good combine, good Senior Bowl like T-Ferg. Jarquez Hunter is basically just Kyron Williams 2.0. Chris Paul Jr. is probably my best pick for them out of this entire draft. Good instincts, just a good linebacker. A guy you want, a captain probably in the future. No corner, though. No quarterback to sit and learn behind Matthew Stafford. Very questionable. And I don't know why. You know what I mean? Why? This draft I don't like it. I don't like this draft at all. It's a D for me. Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders, man. What a draft they had. Now that I'm looking at this, I love this draft. I'm going to give it an A, and that's including bias. Ashton Jeanty was my number 1 player in the draft. He's the best player I've ever watched. Ashton Jeanty's sick. Jack Bech, really good, especially if he's going to stick on the outside where he had his best season ever. And I love Jack Bech. He got really high when he got drafted. Darian Porter, 6'3", a little bit on the wider side when it comes to weight, but I'm not really worried about that. Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant are just 2 mean players up front, mean, physical. When they get hands on you, it's a war. Dante Thornton's a fun deep threat. I expect him to get a lot of reps. Probably more like a Jalen Hyatt role, though, where he's barely going to play realistically. Tonka Hemingway and JJ Pegues is a really fun defensive tackle depth. They both should play a decent amount. Cam Miller out of North Dakota State's a really fun FCS guy. Really good at NDSU. I guess you would never really know you could get out of him at the quarterback position. You never know, especially because he's going to learn behind Geno Smith. I'm excited. Tommy Mellott, though, fun story. Quarterback for Montana State is going to transition to wide receiver. Great athlete. I'm excited. And then Cody Lindenberg, we'll see if he makes the team. But overall, an A for the Raiders. Wish we got a safety in there, though. Really do. But Charles Grant and Caleb Rogers should both be guards at this level. So don't mind that it said that we didn't get a guard. I expect both of these guys to play guard. The Miami Dolphins, as we try to trek on here, as we are 21 minutes into this recording, decent draft from the Dolphins. I love what they did, which is why for me, they're going to get a B. Kenneth Grant and Jordan Phillips fill up the middle of the run lanes. They allowed a lot of yards last year, and they need to fix it, and they did. Jordan Savaiinaia, very good guard. Savaiinaia. That's how you say it, actually. But very good offensive guard. Should be good. Jason Marshall's fun out of Florida. Like Ollie Gordon, I think that his best football is going to be in front of him, hopefully, especially after his lackluster year last year. Zeke Biggers out of Georgia Tech is a good athlete. Quinn Ewers, I think he can honestly get some play time this year with Tua's injury history. Very solid draft from the Dolphins. I like what they did. The Minnesota Vikings. Let's talk skull season. Donovan Jackson was fun. Good pick. Should start day one at left guard. Love it. Ty Felton, top 13 wide receiver for me. I want to say, I think it was number 13 exactly, but Ty Felton, fast, production, fun player. Kobe King, I like out of Penn State, just a crusher at linebacker is the best way I'm going to be able to put this. Really puts his head down and jumps head first at a lot of people. But overall, they're going to get a Vikings. What am I going to give the Vikings? A C. I think they did really good in rounds 1 and 3, but other than that, nothing that I think is going to make a major impact. Donovan Jackson should be really good. Ty Felton, I think, could be their slot guy. Maybe. I don't know what they're going to do, but they get a C because that O-line pick was great. They now have a top 3 O-line on paper. The New England Patriots now. My thing with New England is they had an abundance of good picks, but I don't know how they all fit in the system of Mike Vrabel. Will Campbell should be really good, but is he a tackle? Is he a guard? I don't know. Travion Henderson, fun, exciting, pass blocking, fast. A lot of things that you like from Travion Henderson, but he cannot be a bell cow running back. Him and Ramondre Stevenson are going to complement each other very well. Kyle Williams out of Washington State, draft crush again. Very good, very fluid, very fast. Beat Travis Hunter regularly when they played. Jared Wilson out of Georgia. I love this pick as well. Josh Farmer out of Florida State. I love this pick. Braden Swinson. I love that pick. I even love Marcus Bryant out of Missouri. And Kobe Minor out of Memphis as Mr. Relevant is decent value. A lot of good UDFAs are going to get signed. I know Kobe Bryant, I'm pretty sure, was a UDFA. And I'm pretty sure that Xavier Restrepo was a UDFA. As he actually signed with the Titans, he's going to be reunited with Cam Ward, so that's fun. But overall, Patriots for me get a B+. I think they did a great job. Got some good players on the board. Very solid draft. First one for Mike Vrabel. The New Orleans Saints. The Saints for me get a D+. I'm not excited at all if I'm a Saints fan for a lot of these players. Kelvin Banks is a good day one starting right or left tackle, probably right tackle. I don't know. It depends on what they do with Fuaga and what they do with Kelvin. I don't know what they're going to quite do, but we'll see. I don't know how Kelvin Banks is going to do at tackle. I think he's more of a guard. We'll see about that. Tyler Shuck, decent. Shouldn't went Shadur. I don't like it. I think he was my QB3. I just think it was early for him. He's pro ready and he's got experience and he's a good athlete and he's got a good arm, but can he put it all together is a big question. Vernon Broughton, good pick out of Texas. Really him and Alfred Collins complement each other well on the Texas defensive line. I think I liked Broughton more when I was watching Alfred Collins tape. Jonas Sanker or Jonas, whatever you want to call him. Decent safety out of Virginia. Should maybe get some PT for the Saints. Danny Stutzman, don't ask him to play coverage, but if you need a guy in the run game, Danny Stutzman's your guy. Quincy Riley's fun out of Louisville. Major draft crush with Devin Neal here out of Kansas. I think he can be a bell cow guy once Kamara leaves. I expect him and Alvin to kind of split this backfield. And then that's really it. I'm not excited if I'm a Saints fan. I'm sorry for you guys. The New York Football Giants. Honestly, the New York Giants and the entirety of the NFC East killed this draft. The Giants get an A-. Abdul Carter, great pick. Him and Brian Burns are going to be fun. Kayvon Thibodeau to kind of rotate in and out. Jackson Dart, worst pick of the first round. F for me. He's the only thing stopping this from being an A to A+. Jackson Dart was an awful pick. I don't see it with Dart. I don't think he's going to be good. I don't see it at all. Darius Bear Alexander, fun guy. Really fun. Little bit, question marks on if he can play the edge, play in the middle. I think he's a good defensive weapon. If I'm an NFL team, I want him on my team. That's the best way I'll put it. I want to be able to use him as a chess piece. I don't want another team to use him as a chess piece against us. Cam Scatterboo and Tyrone Tracy are going to be a great 1-2 punch. Cam Scatterboo is going to be your hard-nosed, short yardage, bouncing off players, strong tackle, just running back. Love it. Marcus Mbow is going to be a great guard. He's going to be a really good guard in the NFL. And round 5 is really good value. Giants killed the draft, in my opinion, besides Jackson Dart. The New York Jets, same stadium, just different colors. Armand Membu, phenomenal pick at tackle. Day 1 right tackle for me. Mason Taylor, tight end, good value. He's polished, man. He's a pro-ready tight end. He's going to be good. Azare Thomas, really good again. Pro-ready, polished, love it. Arian Smith, track speed, fast, really good. Malachi Moore. If there's anyone that's going to know how to use Malachi Moore, it's Aaron Glenn. And Tyler Barron out of Miami, I also really like. I'm going to give the Jets an A, man. I think the Jets cooked. I think the Jets did a great job. I love what the Jets did, man. They get a very solid A. I think they did better than the Giants, and they didn't waste a pick on an awful quarterback in the first round. The Philadelphia Eagles, with the most amount of regret in my heart, get an A. I hate Eagles fans. They're my least favorite fans in the league, but they get an A. Jahad Campbell was the steal of the first round. He's a great player. Andrew Makuba, if he can put on 20, 30 pounds of weight, muscle to be exact, he's the steal of this draft. Now, he was projected to kind of play the role that Cooper DeJean plays, so I don't really know what they're going to do there. But Makuba is a great player. Ty Robinson's a freak athlete off in the defensive line from Nebraska. Smile Mondin, fun player out of Georgia. Kyle McCord, good backup quarterback to have. Really good. I expect big things. And then Cam Williams, round 6. You don't talk about value. It's Cam Williams. First round height, midway through the process, kind of really died down. Will he play tackle? Yes. Will he play right tackle? Yes. Is he projected to probably be Lane Johnson's successor? Yes. Love Cam Williams. The Eagles get an A. I think they killed it. The Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers had a very good draft. Really solid B for me. I love the Derek Harmon pick. Good block shedding. Great everything. Just a lot of work to do, in my opinion, in the pass rush game. But I think he's going to be a monster. If there's anyone that can develop Derek Harmon, it's Pittsburgh. Caleb Johnson, bell cow, 18 to 22 carries a game. Get him going. Good receiving threat. I love it. Jack Sawyer, fun guy. Undersized arms, but he's fun. That's what, at this point, you're just picking guys that are fun. Yaya Black out of Iowa. Will Howard at Ohio State. Don't think he'll ever be anything. But the way that the Steelers quarterback room is looking right now, at this very minute, I would honestly start him at quarterback week 1. Just, you never know you get out of a rookie. Steelers get a very solid B. I love the top 2 picks. Love Will Howard. I think in the 6th round, it's good value. The Seattle Seahawks, man. A+. I love what Seattle cooked in this draft. Gray Zabel, phenomenal guard player. He's going to be a great all-pro level guard, in my opinion. Nicky Manwari, freak athlete. He's going to get used to perfection. Next, Bam Bam Cam, who knows? Elijah Arroyo, big slot more than likely than a true tight end, but I think he's developed his blocking every year that he's been in Miami, so I'm excited for that. Jalen Milroe. If everything goes right with Jalen Milroe, you have a top 5 quarterback in the league, and that's like not even debatable. The best speed at quarterback day 1, the best athlete at quarterback day 1, just overall. Great deep ball. Just needs to refine the middle and short parts of his game. And I think that he's going to be a great NFL quarterback. Torrey Horton out of Colorado State. If he didn't get injured, you're talking a 2nd round pick here, man. Torrey Horton's a great pick. But he does operate in the slot. And Seattle just has slot receivers now. They need to draft an actual number 1 option. And they did with Ricky White, who's fun. Damian Martinez in the 7th round. I mean, come on. What are we doing? Damian Martinez was a round 4, round 5 guy, not round 7. Seattle killed this draft. They get the 2nd A+ of this video. The 49ers, very, very good in certain positions. I think they absolutely killed drafting big guys. Mykel Williams, W. Alfred Collins, W. CJ West, W. Connor Colby, W. Curtis Rourke's a fun backup quarterback, I guess. I don't really like him. Jordan James is a good backup running back. Like Upton Stout out of Western Kentucky. I'm going to give them a very solid B-. I love the 1st round and 2nd round pick. Love the 4th round pick in CJ West. And that's really it. Other than that, I don't think anyone else can have that much of an impact. But 49ers fans, get excited about Mykel Williams. I think he's a stud. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Man, you want to talk about question marks. You got a lot of question marks here. And I know early in the video, I said Tez Johnson signed to the Broncos. My bad. Just my bad. Emeka Egbuka. Don't understand it. Especially because he re-signed Chris Godwin. He's fun. I don't know. RIP Jalen McMillan. Benjamin Morrison could be the biggest steal of the draft if he turns out to be the top 15 player that he was pre-injury. Jacob Parrish is good, just really short. David Walker could be something off the edge, but I think he could play, honestly, a linebacker role for them. Tez Johnson, really bad testing and really undersized, but the tape speaks like he's a round 4, round 3 guy, so I really don't know how to feel. Tampa Bay gets a C+. I think that they did good, but I just don't really think that they drafted a good enough edge rusher is what it's going to come down to. They're going to have like no pressure off the edge. Tennessee, the holders of the rightful number 1 overall pick. Cam Ward, decent pick. Oluwafemi Oladejo out of UCLA. If everything turns out right for him, you're talking about an absolute stud freak athlete off the edge. I mean, he's really, really good. Kevin Winston Jr., if he doesn't get injured, he's probably a first, early second round pick. Getting him in the third is nice. Chimere Dike, good speed. Really, what more do you want? I mean, Gunnar Helm, very good. Injured at the combine is right. He ran a 4.83. Really, really, really like Gunnar Helm in the system, though. Elic Eilmanor, if I'm being honest, probably the most willing blocking wide receiver in this draft. Loved Elic Eilmanor. And I'm shocked the Chargers didn't pick him. Marcus Harris and Kalel Mullings, though, out of Michigan and California, nothing really there. Jackson Slater out of Sacramento State's fun. You never know who you could get with an FCS guy. But Titans overall, C+. It's They need a lot of these guys to work out for it to be a good draft. And finally, the Washington Commanders. They get a B+, a strong B+, nearly an A-, but I just think it fell off after the first 2 picks. They killed these first 2, though. Jaden Daniels not going to have to worry about protection any longer with this Josh Connerly pick. Trey Amos out of Ole Miss. You want to talk about a pure NFL starting Sunday level player. It's Trey Amos. Instinct, size, great just player all around. Love Trey Amos. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. Appreciate you guys for watching. I really love this draft, man, and it was fun. But yeah, let's go.